Okay, so it's the year 2024, and a lot of people are just becoming so much more aware of how toxic and insufferable the internet is. We now have things like cancel culture, where like someone says the wrong thing or something extremely problematic, their careers in life will be gone in an instant, which rightfully so. Instead of people making like YouTube videos about the glitz and glamour of their life, people are making more commentary videos about the things that are messed up in society, which again, rightfully so. We now have the body positivity movement, where people are realizing that being like sick thin is not like the only body that you're allowed to have. We're tired of seeing unrealistic influencers online showcasing their unrealistic lives and flaunting their BBLs and their Botox. So we now have plus size models and more sizes in stores. And now everything is just sunshine and rainbows. Just kidding. This is now the era of relatability. Everyone wants to be real and transparent and just seem as down to earth as possible. But of course, now people have taken it way too far, which is extremely annoying because it's like, why? Like, can't humans just leave well enough alone? What am I talking about? There are people that are trying to gain profit and fame off of trying to be relatable, but not in a healthy and honest way. Let's start off with the bloating problem. Every now and then our body can, swell up and appear larger than normal, specifically our stomachs. Our belly is like the most common place where we often see, bloating. And influencers have taken it upon themselves to post themselves looking normal and then comparing their normal photos with the photos that they have of them being bloated. And their message is that like it's okay to bloat. It's totally normal and everyone does it. Bloating isn't something to hide from, it's something that you should be proud of. Everyone just needs to embrace their huge bloated bellies. And although it doesn't seem this way, this is extremely damaging and harmful. And I know this sounds crazy, but first of all, a lot of these people posting themselves bloated aren't really bloated in the first place. They're actually just poking out their stomachs. Like, most of us have the ability to poke out your stomach and make them look like you're pregnant or ate a big meal. And that's what they're doing, just to be relatable and to fit in the category of rejecting the social norms and expectations. Isn't it sad that people think they need to lie in order to be considered normal? Secondly, you shouldn't want to be bloated. In most cases, bloating actually is not normal, and there are a slew of reasons why you could be bloated, and every single one of them are detrimental to your health. A lot of people have irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS, which is an intestinal disorder that causes uncomfortability or causes painful abdominal symptoms such as bloating. You could bloat because you're constipated, and because of that, sometimes our stomachs might swell. You could have a food intolerance because of something you ate. And you might be, let's say, lactose intolerant, so you can't eat dairy. Endometriosis can cause bloating. Celiac disease can cause bloating. Like, there are so many reasons as to why your body could be acting up. So when these people post their stories and TikToks about it being so normal to bloat, that's telling everyone that they don't need to pay any mind as to why their stomach or their body is acting up the way it is. So guess what? They put it off because they don't think it's something that should be monitored, and their disease or whatever they're going through could go untreated. Danae Marcera is an influencer who takes part in the whole bloating positivity movement, and here she is posting on Instagram about how she looks before cereal and after having cereal. And she says bloating is normal and natural. This is what I'm talking about. Someone might be having a medical bloating issue and then see this post and think, oh, since she's normalizing it, bloating must be a thing to pay no mind to. So they move on and they go untreated. She's also using the hashtag bloating. So now when people need bloating info, they'll just see this post that isn't about treating serious bloating. Like, yes, in a lot of cases, you might be bloating because you're on your period or you ate too much or simply just have gas, but bloating isn't something to just be glorified. I understand that some people are just trying to send a positive body message, but it's just backfiring on them and damaging a lot of people's lives. There is a specific influencer that has taken the body positivity movement way too far and has been caught lying about her real, natural, and authentic body. I've talked about her before on my channel, and that's Karina Irby. This woman is extremely extremely successful. She has millions of followers on her Instagram and has successfully created a bikini and athleisure workout brand. She's known for being a body positive influencer. She showcases her cellulite, her wobbly thighs, stretch marks, etc. Because of course, generally in society, the hourglass figure, the perky boobs, and like the thin frame is obviously like what people post online and strive to look like, and she does the opposite. Karina's message is that real bodies just don't look like that, and you are beautiful the way that you are, and photoshopping is a horrible and gross thing to do. Yet she was caught photoshopping her own Instagram photos by this guy named, I think, Goob.
So this is Karina Irby, 1.2 million followers. She owns the Moana Bikini Company. But she's really well known for making posts like this where she encourages girls to not edit their photos and not edit their cellulite out. Here's another one. And here's a post where she's actually poking fun at girls that Photoshop their photos. And in the caption she says, "No joke, people are still editing their photos like this." She says, "Be the change you want to see." I am the change I want to see. Let's get into it. So why am I saying she's a hypocrite? Well, Karina, it looks like you pulled your waist in on this one. If we draw this red line down from the slat, this should be farther over than it is here. And in this photo, I couldn't help but notice the metal in your shower is bending. I added some red lines, but you can see right here where it moves out and then moves back in up top because you edited your ass to be bigger. In this photo, I'm not sure what happened to this poor Land Rover, but that dimpling in the metal, definitely not up to code. Here's one in the shower. That shouldn't be bent. Remember this photo? Look in the corner. That doesn't look right. Maybe there's a reference photo. All right, here we go. Now let's zoom and compare. You cooked it. You cooked it. The corner's bent. This one's fucking hilarious. She warped this poor kid's head to make her waist smaller. Let me show you. Before the kid's head got caught in her Photoshop vortex. And then you can see she like egghead the poor kid over here. Karina, I'm disappointed in you. You've built an entire brand on being real. But you aren't real. Your captions talk about how you understand how dangerous this is for body image, and then you do it anyway.
She even admitted that she photoshopped her own pictures and then got mad that he called her out.
So did Karina own up to her wrongdoings, admit that it's hypocritical for her to tell other women not to edit when she herself edits, and post an apology? Well, no. She blocked me, and she threatened to sue an Australian news outlet for reposting my story. Technically, she said she would send them a cease and desist. Maybe that's a sneaker terminology, maybe she means cease and desist, not sure. But before she blocked me, she sent me this message. She said, "My old edits are my past and I'm not proud of them. However, I always had a drive to help women, including myself." Old edits. You know, she makes this sound like it's some mistake she made years ago. 8 hours ago. Here's a photo she posted. Now, if you look at this photo, something seems kind of weird here. Is this supposed to be a door or something? Maybe we have another photo of the room. Thankfully, my intern Ashley Mintz found this photograph on her profile. So we see the door and we know that it's straight. Okay, so she's standing approximately like right here. So if we put a ruler on the door up here, we should be able to see only door here, but we don't because she pulled her waist in several inches. See, Karina, this is why I do what I do. This is one of your old employees. She found out that you were editing photos you were posting of her. She felt ashamed. Ashamed that you didn't think that her body was good enough to be posted the way it was. How do you get off making posts like this? "Girls, let's keep it raw. Don't smooth out your cellulite. Don't edit anything," when you are editing your shit?
And guys, all of her Photoshop pictures that he's talking about is still on her Instagram. This woman had the audacity to tell her followers to not edit their photos, and Photoshopping is like this evil, cruel thing to do, and you should accept the natural body you were born in, when she was doing the exact opposite the whole time. And she stated that like editing her photos is something that she's not proud of, yet all her Photoshop pictures are still on her Instagram. So obviously like you're not sorry because you would have taken them down. And I bet you she's still morphing and editing her photos to this day. She was like editing her photos to give herself the big iconic butt and curvy figure while also trying to promote body positivity, all just to stay relevant and to fit in with what's trending. Just because there's nothing wrong with you, just because you're not bloated, just because you don't have any cellulite or stretch marks, does not mean that you just can't be relatable. The whole body positivity movement's message is that you need to accept the body that you're born in, not try to create things that aren't there and to over exaggerate your body and morph it into this way or that way. This is all just lying. It's extremely harmful and very annoying. It's like there's just like no winning with society, because on one side it's like people promote this unattainable beauty standard, of course, but then on the other side like people take it to the extreme and try to be relatable and then falsely advertise themselves doing A, B, C, and D. And it's like, I don't know like why people can't just be normal for 1 second. Like, is being regular and just posting yourself plain cut dry how it is such a horrible and bad provoking like thing to do, I don't think we're asking for much here. I mean, I don't know what to say anymore. I'm done. If you guys have made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching, and of course I'll be back next week for my next video.